Everybody, welcome to another edition of Art Regner's video blog, and I have to apologize. The last couple of days I have been out of commission, so to speak. I had a colonoscopy, I think that's how you pronounce it, on Wednesday of this week, and the anesthesia and getting out of it, kind of put me under. I do want to say, though, on a rather serious note, everything's fine, everything checked out. I do have something called diverticulosis, which I guess a lot of people get, and as long as I watch it, but it's nothing life-threatening, thank God. Really the worst part of getting a colonoscopy is the night before, where you have to cleanse your system. But it went very, very well, and I urge everybody, in all seriousness, to get one. I had a brother-in-law who passed away from colon cancer, and I was really his caregiver for about the last 4 or 5 years of his life. And he fought it bravely, and he fought it hard. He finally succumbed to the disease, but if you can do something to prevent something like that my brother-in-law Marv had to go through, please go ahead, get it done. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of an issue. I feel great. I feel fine, and most of all, I feel relieved that you know, everything checks out, and I have no polyps or heaven forbid cancer. So please, if you're thinking about it, or you have a history of colon cancer in your family, get it done. Just get it done. It's a bit of a hassle, I guess, or an inconvenience, but it's well worth it. And you know, if you can prevent something from happening before it begins, well, that's certainly the way to go. On that note, let's talk about the Detroit Tigers. They begin a 10-game road trip tonight against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. After the Angels, they play the Chicago White Sox and then Cleveland. This is a 10-game road trip that starts in California, goes to Illinois, and then finishes up in Ohio. As I've been saying over and over and over again about the Tigers, is that I believe that they'll be very competitive and over 500 against Chicago, California. I can still call them the California Angels. The Angels and the Oakland Athletics. Those are the teams that have over 500 records. Those are teams that actually have something to play for. The remainder of the Tigers' schedule is with Cleveland, Kansas City, and Minnesota. I still think that that is going to be the Tigers' Achilles heel. When you look at this upcoming road trip and where the Tigers are at, I think it's pretty evident right now that they're not going to get the wild card. One of the wild card participants will not come out of the American League Central, so Detroit has to win their division. Now, I believe that the Tigers' starting pitching is coming through for them. I really, really do. I think that I've actually finally bought into Max Scherzer. I think he's doing very, very well, and I think he's the real deal. I think Justin Verlander is only going to get better. I think he's been challenged. I think he's challenged himself. Anibal Sanchez has pitched very, very well. Rick Porcello has pitched very, very well. They just haven't gotten the run support, and neither has Doug Fister. However, Fister has done enough to win most games. I know he's stumbled his toe a little bit. So really, starting pitching looks like it's going to be a strong suit for the Detroit Tigers. I think what it's really going to come down to in this, not only this 10-game road trip which they face, where I don't think the division is going to be won or lost on this 10-game road trip, is still the bottom of the lineup guys. You know, Brendan Bosch is playing right now. Delman Young, I guess, when he wants to play. That whole thing with Jim Leland and does Delman want to play or Delman has to be out of the lineup, I just think that that's bizarre. I really do. I think that that's a weird thing. I don't know what's going on there. It's a kind of a weird dynamic, but I think if we've learned anything about Delman Young since he's been here in Detroit, he is one odd cat. So anyway, I think the bottom of the lineup really has to produce. They have to score runs. I think if the Tigers end up not winning the American League Central, it's going to be because of their hitting. They're not going to be able to score enough runs. It's feast or famine with this team. They've got to put it together a little bit better than that. And, you know, guys like Peralta, Bosch, even Delman Young, although he's been hitting, you know, Alex Avila, they have to show up. They need production. Omar Infante has to get his act back together. He's been a little cold as late. If those supporting hitters do well, then I think the Tigers do have a chance. One of the reasons why the Tigers also have a chance is because I don't see the Chicago White Sox really running away with anything. So it might be, you know, who's less worse in the end between the White Sox and the Tigers will end up winning this division. I still have a funny feeling, though, that it's when it's all said and done, somehow the White Sox are going to pull this out. And I really think